Welcome to the Blossom Mindset, the path to blossoming into your fullest potential through everyday actions. I am your host, Lindsay, a behavior analyst, certified clinical trauma specialist, author, and entrepreneur. My passion is helping people create meaningful, positive change. Using a behavior analytic approach, I guide individuals to uncover their values, build self-awareness, and take intentional steps towards their goals and building their skill set. This podcast reminds you that you don't have to face life's challenges alone and is here to help you take the first steps towards meaningful change by increasing self-awareness and shifting your mindset with support and no judgment. Together, we'll explore topics like identifying your values, setting realistic goals, and learning practical tools to increase mindfulness and shift your mindset towards a more meaningful life. With guest speakers and actionable strategies, each episode helps you break through internal and external barriers, offering easy steps to create a life aligned with what matters most. This is the Blossom Mindset Podcast, your path to blossoming into your fullest potential, one action at a time. Let's get started. This is a friendly reminder that the information shared on the Blossom Mindset is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a one-size-fits-all approach and is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Remember, this is not a therapy session and is simply for educational purposes and serves as an additional resource for you. Your well-being is important to us, and reaching out for the right support is a vital step in your journey. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Blossom Mindset. Have you ever had one off day and immediately thought, well, I ruined it? One missed workout, one awkward moment, one mistake, and suddenly your brain says, start over, you failed, there's no coming back from it, I can't do it. That is the all or nothing trap. And it's exhausting. Our brains can often fall to the extreme, like that black and white, the all or nothing. Our brains are like categories on track or off track, success or failure, perfect or pointless. And there's very little room for the nuisance, but the real growth, it's messy. You don't climb a mountain in a straight line. There are dips, slips, and side steps. And I like to, when working with coaching clients, really reference that growth in reference to the mountains. I love mountains, my place to regulate. Just got back from the mountains last weekend and so recharging, but that's besides the point. When it comes to growth, it really is like a mountain and it's not linear. There is no straight path up a mountain. There's steps sometimes, there's curves, there's up and down. You might increase elevation and start to decrease elevation. Even think of it almost like a stock graph, right? Ultimately, you want the growth to go up. However, sometimes it does go down. So taking it back to the larger picture, you're going to see like those dips up, down. You're going to see it increase, that growth. And then you may fall back a little bit, and that's okay. That's what growth is. It's messy. Just like the mountain, there's going to be rocks in your way, those spider roots from the trees. Well, I call them spider roots. I don't know if anybody else did, but growing up as a kid at camp, all those roots from the trees that stick out in the ground on your path, we always called them spider roots because we tripped over them. So, and they also came out of nowhere sometimes. I remember constantly tripping. Even now, I still walk and my friends laugh at me when we're hiking together and I'm constantly tripping over the roots. But that's like your journey of growth outside of just a hike. You are going to trip over things. It's not going to go as expected. And that is okay. So I want us to look at leaving room for growth because it can be messy and it's not all or nothing. So even looking at that growth with the mountain, as you are going up that growth, right, you are still ascending. One lower step does not erase the entire staircase, right? You may have to go back down or take a different turn, and that is okay. So I really want us to look at how that all or nothing thinking can show up in young adults because it can show up everywhere within your daily life. You eat one off meal plan and you might think, I blew it. Or you miss one habit that you set and you think, I can't stay consistent. Maybe you are a content creator and one of your content posts flops. And you might think, I'm not cut out for this. Nobody wants to listen to what I have to say, or nobody likes my content. Again, all or nothing. One content post. I get it all the time. I'm stuck at, 200-300 views sometimes, and I just have to accept that that's where it is. Again, not all or nothing. You may have one more challenging day mentally and think, I'm back to square one. I'm back to where I started. But are you? Are you really back to square one if you had one bad day? Um, Most likely not. We may fall down, we may dip, but it doesn't mean we're right back to the bottom of the mountain, right? We're not right back to where we first began, because throughout that journey, you have grown so much. And ultimately, those all or nothing thoughts are not reality. And we may think that from one of those actions that we did that didn't align with what we thought we could do, right? Like the meal plan. You eat one meal off plan and you think, I blew it. I blew my, meal plan for the week. It's not going to work out. There's no point in finishing it out. Your brain can be trying to simplify that complexity and go straight to the all or nothing instead of thinking, well, I can get back on track. It's okay if I messed up. I can still be consistent, because one missed habit doesn't mean I'm not consistent. It means I'm human. So, again, going into that gray area, instead of fusing with that thought of, I ruined everything, I want you to take a moment to notice it. Oh, I'm having the all or nothing story again. It's what my brain is creating. It's not my reality. That tiny shift can create that space to start to look at the gray area, because it doesn't have to be all or nothing, black or white. And then ask yourself, what would 1% progress look like today? Not perfection, just 1%. It may not even be 1%. Maybe it's 0.5% if that's all you can do that day. Because generally, we are not going to be performing at 100% every day. It's not really realistic. Or breaking it down into different areas or different cups. Maybe you poured so much into other areas of your life that when it came to your meal plan, you couldn't pour 100% in. It doesn't mean that you messed up completely by missing one day. So look at that one healthy meal, or incorporating a 10-minute walk, one email, one honest conversation. Momentum is built in the middle, not in the extremes. We have to be able to build that momentum to keep going, especially when that motivation is not there. I work with a lot of coaching clients on how you can build that momentum, how you can get started. And oftentimes I see that with myself too. Once I get started, it's easier to keep going instead of, again, going back to that all or nothing. You missed it, now you give up, right? That goes back to creating consistency, building effective habits, and having some flexibility with yourself as well. The all or nothing trap can convince you that mistakes define you, but they don't. It's okay to have a mistake. Again, you are human. We are going to make mistakes and we have to learn from them. If you think, I failed at this, I'm not going to be able to do it, I can't do it, those are your thoughts and they can shape your reality. So it's up to you to be able to take that step back, to notice those thoughts instead of fusing with it, right? That thought, I ruined everything. If you fuse with that thought, if you believe that thought that you ruined everything, you're going to continue down that pathway of actions that align with you ruining everything. But if you notice it and take that step back, you create space for recognizing maybe where you messed up and where you can move forward from there instead of staying stuck in the I messed up and then you give up and you stop moving forward. Growth is not erased by that imperfection either. You're not starting over every time you stumble. You may have to take a few steps back, but you keep moving forward. You may have to start a project over again, but it doesn't mean you've completely cleared all of the growth, cleared all of the learning you've done. You are continuing forward, and that's resilience. You are building that opportunity, building that momentum forward and you're conquering through those hard times instead of giving up just because things didn't go as planned or because one action potentially was a mistake, right? As we move forward too, we can make choices. And I mean, every day we're making so many choices and we don't know the what ifs. You can think about the what ifs. What if I would have made this choice? Or what if I do this? What if I would have done things different? You don't know the outcome, right? The path and the choice that you made is where you are in the moment. And if we think, well, I messed up on this or I made the wrong choice, and it shuts you down and you go into that all or nothing thinking trap, you're almost kind of falling back down the mountain a little bit. So if we have that growth mindset to build that resilience, to continue that momentum forward, ultimately it's going to help your growth, help you ultimately move forward in the direction that you want to go. And again, that is building resilience. We're going to have obstacles. We're going to have to conquer difficult moments in life. And it can be easy to fall into that trap. I'm never going to be able to do it. Or even going into social scenarios too, of like, they always act that way, or no one's ever going to like me. Even in those scenarios too, that's that all or nothing thinking trap. So being able to take a step back and even finding some more flexible words, right? It could be, I'm not able to do it right now. I'm still learning. Those help your brain recognize that you are in more of that gray area, that growth mindset versus stuck in that all or nothing. Because ultimately, you have to shape your perception. You have to shape that flexibility in how you are perceiving different scenarios. Again, if you have that all or nothing thinking and your perception in the moment is, I'm never going to be able to do this, I'm never going to be able to meet my goals, you're not likely to then act in alignment with moving towards your goals. If you feel like you're never going to be able to do it, what happens is you give up, you stop moving forward, you fall backwards. Your actions start to fall out of alignment with what you might value. Now, you also do want to look at, is this actually important to me, right? Is having a meal plan important to me? Is exercising important to me? You want to look at those goals and how they align with you. Because if you're not, or if the goals are not in alignment with you and your values, then if you make a mistake or you don't meet them, then it may not be as important for you to shift and find strategies to keep moving forward. So it does take a lot of reflection in those moments too. But ultimately, to recognize when you're going into or when you're falling into the all or nothing trap. I'm never going to be able to do this. I ruined everything. Um, I failed. I can't do this. I'm so bad at this. I can't. Notice when you are starting to fall into that trap. And a lot of times I notice too, you may have those repetitive thoughts almost on a loop. So when you get stuck in that loop, sometimes it's hard to break out of it. You get stuck in the loop, you stop acting forward over time, especially the longer you're stuck in that all or nothing trap, like negative mindset. So again, notice when you are having those thoughts, when you are falling into that trap, and try not to fuse with that thought. Try to allow it to diffuse a little bit, going back to noticing and labeling it. I'm having that all or nothing story again. It's just what my brain is creating. To be able to create that space to allow for some flexibility, to allow for your brain to kind of get out of that trap that you put yourself in and be able to still move forward for your goals. And remember, progress isn't loud, it isn't perfect, and it definitely is not linear. Just like climbing a mountain, you're going to have obstacles, there's going to be curves, you're going to decrease elevation and then increase elevation. So the next time your brain says, you ruined it. Ask yourself, is this true, or am I in the all or nothing trap? Then take one step forward anyway. That's the Blossom mindset. I'll see you next week. Thank you for joining in on this episode of The Blossom Mindset with me. I hope that our discussion has inspired you to take actionable steps towards blossoming into your fullest potential. Don't forget, the best way to show your support is by liking, sharing, and leaving a 5-star review on this podcast. Feel free to drop any ideas for future podcast topics by commenting on my most recent Instagram post of this episode. If you are interested in additional resources or one-to-one coaching, check out our website linked in the show notes. I am so proud of you. By tuning in and listening, you just took one small, actionable step forward towards blossoming into your fullest potential.